Okay, everybody, today we're going to work on solving equations using the subtraction property of equality and the addition property of equality. Our key vocabulary is equation, solution, equivalent equations, addition property of equality, and subtraction property of equality. And the key phrase that you are going to hear me say that over the next month is what I do to the left, and when I say that, I expect you all to respond with, I must do to the right. So let's try it now. What I do to the left, I must do to the right. All right, we're going to go now to page 438. Page 438. On this page, we're going to start with the subtraction property of equality. And in this, what we subtract from the left, we must also subtract from the right. And we're going to start with example 1. Now, example 1 says solve x plus 6 equals 4. What we want to do and what our goal is to find out what the value of x is. In order to do that, we've got to isolate the variable on whatever side it's on and get everything else away from it. So first thing we want to do is rewrite the expression. We're going to write x plus 6 equals 4. Now take a look and find where is the variable. Well, on this side, the variable is on the left. It says x plus 6. So to isolate that variable and get it all by itself, we need to get rid of the 6. How do we get rid of plus 6? What's the opposite of plus 6? Yes, the opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. And what we do to the left? Yes, we must do to the right. Now, when we do that, and we find out that 6 minus 6 cancels out and equals 0, and it leaves us with just the x on the left. X equals, bring your equal sign down, what is 4 minus 6? 4 minus 6 equals negative 2. All right, so that should be our answer, but in order to make sure that that's our answer, we're going to check it, and in order to check it, we rewrite the equation again, x plus 6 equals 4, and this time we're going to substitute what we said x equals, which we said it was negative 2, in place for the x. So in place of the x, we write negative 2 plus 6 equals 4. Negative 2 plus 6 equals 4, and 4 equals 4, which checks out and tells us that our original solution was correct. Okay, going on to example 2. On this one, we're going to again start with rewriting the equation. Negative 5 equals b plus 8. Okay, so where is our variable on this one? Variable is on the right side of the equation, which is totally fine. And in this case, on the right side, we have b plus 8. So what we want to get rid of is the 8. We have plus 8, so we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. And 8 minus 8 cancels out. And that leaves us with b on the right equals, what's negative 5 minus 8 more? That's going to give us negative 13. So right now it says negative 13 equals b. While that's a true statement, we generally want to have our variable on the left side. And since this is an equation, both sides are equal. So it is totally cool to go ahead and switch sides and say b is equal to negative 13. All right, before we go on, we're going to come over here and check. We're going to rewrite our equation. Negative 5 equals b plus 8. We're going to substitute in for b what we said our value was. So we're going to put negative 13 plus 8. Go ahead and fill the rest of our equation in. Now, we have negative 5 equals, what is negative 13 plus 8? Yes, it is negative 5. It checks out. So our solution was b equals negative 13 is correct. Okay, next up we've got 3 got it questions. I want you to do these got it questions on your own. So right now we're going to pause the video, and when we pause the video, we'll give you a chance to work. Okay, let's give these a check and see how you did. On this one, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides, and that leaves us with y equals 3. To check it, y plus 6, whoops, I need to plug in my 3 for y. 3 plus 6 equals 9, and 9 equals 9. Checks out, and yes, we are correct. All right, on the next one, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. Leaves us with x equals -2. Let's give it a check. -2 plus 3 equals 1. Remember, when we have a negative plus a positive, different signs, we're going to subtract their absolute value and keep the sign of the larger. 1 equals 1. That is correct. So x equals -2. All right, last one. Our variable is on the right side, but that's cool. We're going to go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides. That leaves us with a equals -3 minus 4 more gives us -7. Let's check that out. We've got -3 equals -7 plus 4. Different signs subtract, keep the sign of the larger, and -3 is equal to -3. Checks. And we should have had a equals -7. Now again, if you wanted to rewrite that, we probably should get our variable on the left, so a equals -7. All right, we're ready to move on. Next, we've got example 3. An angelfish can grow to be 12 inches long. If an angelfish is 8.5 inches longer than a clownfish, how long is the clownfish? Okay, the first thing we want to do, like we talked about in the last chapter, we know these story problems can be a little bit of a challenge, so we want to start out by saying, what do we know in words? Well, we know that the angelfish is 8.5 inches longer than the clownfish. We don't know how long the clownfish is, so we're going to use C to represent the clownfish. Now we're going to write our equation so that if the angelfish is 12, the clownfish, which we don't know how long it is, plus 8.5 is going to equal our 12, which is our angelfish. To solve that, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. I'm sorry, 8.5 from both sides, and that gives us 3.5 equals C, so a clownfish is 3.5 inches long. All right, now it's your turn. The highest recorded temperature in Warsaw, Missouri is 118 degrees Fahrenheit. This is 158 degrees greater than the city's lowest recorded temperature. Find the lowest recorded temperature. All right, I want you to step through these. You can work on them with your table partners here. Let's see if you can come up with the words, the variables, and the expression. So we're going to pause the video here right now to give you all a chance to work. Okay, so in words, we know that it's 118 degrees in Warsaw and that it's 158 degrees greater than the lowest temperature. For the variables, we don't know the lowest temp. We're going to call that T. And that means that 118, which is Warsaw, is equal to 158 plus T. Let's go ahead and solve that before we go on. So we're going to subtract 158 from both sides. When we do, that leaves us with the temperature is equal to, what's 118 minus 158? Yes, -40. So the lowest temperature was -40 degrees. Ooh, that's pretty cold. Pretty cold. I don't think we get quite that low around here. Okay, we're moving on now to addition property of equality. And on this one, what we add to the left, we must add to the right. Okay, for number 4, we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve. First thing we do is we rewrite the equation, x minus 2 equals 1. Again, we're going to isolate the variable and get the x all by itself. And this time we need to get rid of the -2 or the -2. What is the opposite of -2? +2. So we're going to add 2 to this side. And what we do to the left, we must also do to the right. so we're going to add 2 to the right as well. Minus 2 plus 2 cancels out and leaves us with x equals 1 plus 2 equals 3. So it looks like x is equal to 3. But before we move on to our next problem, we want to check our solution. X minus 2 equals 1. We're going to plug in what we said x was, which is 3 minus 2 equals 1. And 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 equals 1. It checks out, and therefore x equals 3. Moving on to the got it questions. Okay, this is your turn. We're going to go ahead and pause the video, giving you time to work these out on your own. We'll put them on the board, and then we'll give it a check. So at this time, pause the video. All right, hopefully you got those all correct. We'll do a double check here. We're going to add 3 to both sides. That leaves us with y is equal to 7. Let's check it out. Y minus 3 equals 4. We'll plug in 7 for y. 7 minus 3 equals 4. Checks out. Good job. Okay, on F, we've got r minus 4 equals 2. We need to get rid of the minus 4, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. Cancels out and leaves us with r is equal negative 2 plus 4, different signs, subtract their absolute value, keep the sign of the larger, which gives us 2. Let's double check. R minus 4 equals negative 2, and 2 minus 4 equals negative 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2, checks out, and r is equal to 2. G, we've got q minus 8 equals negative 9. We're going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 8 plus 8 leaves us with q equals negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1. We'll check it. Q minus 8 equals negative 9. Negative 1 minus 8 equals negative 9. And negative 9 does equal negative 9. Q is equal to negative 1. Okay, a pair of shoes costs $25. This is $14 less than the cost of a pair of jeans. Find the cost of the jeans. Well, what we know in words, the shoes are $14 less than the jeans, and we're going to let J represent the cost of the jeans. 25 equals J minus 14. We're going to add 14 to both sides, and the jeans cost is $39. Okay, your turn. The average lifespan of a tiger is 17 years. This is 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion. Write and solve an equation to find the average lifespan of the lion. Okay, what do we know in words? We know that the tiger is 17, and that's 3 years less than a lion. What do we need to find out? We need to find out the lifespan of the lion, so we're going to give L for the lion, and our equation, let me give you just a few seconds to see if you can write that equation down. Okay, everybody have something? All right, let's see what you come up with. Did you have something like L minus 3 equals 17? Because up here it says it's 3 years less than the lion. So 3 less than L equals 17. To solve it, we're going to add 3 to both sides. And the lion is 20. The lion is 20. All right, now it is your turn. You are going to work with your table partners to do 441 to 442. We're going to do 1 through 8, 10 through 11, and 13 and 15. Once you're done, we're going to put them on the board, give you all out some points. So be sure that you are talking only about math. You're working with your table partners to finish. And we're going to go ahead and pause this now and let you guys go ahead and work. Okay, now that we've gone over this, it's time for you to get online and do your homework. Don't get up yet. Don't get up yet. When I tell you to go, what you're going to do is stand up quietly without talking, go to your device, and get started. I will be checking on missing assignments and getting everything posted online, so stay on top of your Alex. Don't want any late assignments. We're going to finish this strong. So at this time, I want you to get up and head to your homework.